When it comes to fishing for a wily old carp, there's nothing like a spot of surface fishing to sharpen your angling skills. I'm Bob NUDD, and if you'd like to see how to master this consistently productive technique, I'd be delighted to show you. Today I'm at Pisces Country Park, where you'll find a conservation award-winning fishery with 4 fabulous lakes. So you really will be on course, not only to increase the quantity of carp that you catch, but also the quality as well. I've decided to fish on the Syndicate Lake today. This is one of my favourites here. It's somewhere where I've been before and caught big carp off the surface using a pole, and that's what I want to do today. You have to look at the conditions, and it's early autumn. It should really be very warm, but it's not. There's a cold northeasterly wind, a bit of a chill in the air, and when conditions are like this, it's better to get the wind on your back. It's warmer for you and it's warmer for the fish. If there's no cold wind on the surface, that's where the fish like to be. So pick a calm spot to fish. That's where the fish will be. I'm going to be feeding on the surface, so you don't really want any big ripples. The calmer the water, the better it is. Also, when you're fishing, carp love to be in an area, say, where there's some bankside cover. Either a big bed of rushes, maybe some trees, and I've picked an overhanging tree, a big overhanging tree where there's lots of cover, where the fish can come out of the cover and then take the bait and they feel safe, and then they go back into the cover, so that it just makes it much easier for you to catch them. They feel safe, but they're not, because we're going to use these floating biscuits to catch the fish. Biscuits, biscuits and more biscuits. What ingenious angler could think that just a humble dog biscuit was great for catching carp? And in fact they are. Easy to buy big packs very cheaply. They float, which is what you want. I'm fishing on the surface, but they're very buoyant. So they are a very good versatile bait. There's 3 main ways that you can hook these. You can prepare some so that they're soft. If you look at these ones, some that I did earlier, they're soft. You can put the hook, let me find a hook, I'll get one of these on a hook. I've soaked them overnight. What you do is you get a bag, polythene bag, put, say, 30 or 40 dog biscuits in it, then add water, roughly about the same volume of water as you've got of biscuit, so 50% biscuit, 50% water. Then I add a few squirts of Scopex. It's a lovely flavoured bait for carp, they love that. So a few squirts in the bag, seal the bag, put it in your fridge and leave it overnight. In the morning you'll find that the biscuits will have soaked up all the water. They still float, but you can put, because they're soft, you can put a hook. See how that hook hangs through? They can put a hook through them. So that's perfect. The other way is to use a bait band, just a normal band through the edge, where you can just put the hook through the band like that. They're buoyant. And the last way is just to drill through the edge, just through the corner, and then you can put your hook through the corner. So there's 3 main ways: drilling, bait band, and then leaving and fishing with the soaked ones. Always equally as good. I'm fishing on the surface today, so there's no need to plumb the depth. And the great thing about fishing on the surface is you can see what's happening in your swim. You know, when you're normally fishing and you're fishing on the bottom, quite often I'm feeding and I think, oh, I'd love to know what's happening down there. How many fish are down there? What's taking my bait? But this style of fishing is so exciting because when you feed, and I'm feeding 3 dog biscuits, not too many, 3 is enough just to get the fish competing, but you don't want to fill them up. So I'm feeding 3 out to where I want to fish. So this is my baiting up, is 3 dog biscuits. And you can watch these biscuits and see how the carp react, how long they take to come up for them, where they're taking them, and how many fish are competing for them. So it's already just a little swirl close in. One just come up and took one of those biscuits. I just saw just a big pair of lips come up. So I've got a good idea that I'm probably going to catch that one. I've decided to use a banded pellet on a hair rig, size 14 hook. The rig is so simple. It's just tied up to 0.22mm line, which is about 8 pounds, so really strong line. Biscuits floating. So all I've got is a piece of line, a hook and the biscuit, and that's going out. And there's no biscuits left there now, so I'm going to feed again. I always like there to be some freebies there, and then put your bait somewhere near it. There. There's 2 of those fell a bit close, but there's one a bit further out, and I'm going to try and put my biscuit right next to it. Oh, and already it's taken that one. Will it take mine? Just leave it on the surface, watching. This style of fishing is about really watching everything that's happening. Oh, I've got him, Oh, oh dear. Oh. Oh, you should see that fish take that bait. That's a big one. Oh, that was quick, wasn't it? I've just got the fish away from that area where the trees are. Can just ship back a little bit. That's it. Get the pole back so it's nice and easy to hold. There. Just let the elastic do its work. I've got a big hook, strong line. Just let the elastic do its work. Can you see what I mean now about exciting fishing? Just it came up and woof, took the bait. Oh, oh. They're all good carp here. Oh, oh, oh. Oh. Every time they try to see any reeds, they try to get in them. Really hard fighting fish. And this is the best part of fishing, the playing of the fish. Lovely. Fed it, that is a beauty. That is a lovely looking fish. Whew. Lovely, beautiful looking. Big fat golden mirror carp. Now the biscuit's just dropped out, but it's still, I'll put a new one on, but it's still floating. Just look at the quality of that fish. That really is perfection. Beautiful mirror carp, golden underneath, probably about 5 or 6 pounds in weight, but a fantastic fish. Catapults are an important part of an angler's armoury. You saw how I was feeding those dog biscuits close to where I was fishing. And the reason for that is this is a small catapult with fairly thin elastic. If it's too heavy, you need to get those biscuits really tight together. So fairly soft elastic, a good stiff pouch. I can get 3 or 4 dog biscuits in there and just fire them and get that range. If you've got an easier pull with the catapult, you can get the range easier. You know, if it's too stiff, you've only got to go a little bit further and boom, they go too far. So keep that elastic down to a reasonable length if you're fishing like I am, sort of 14 metres out, something like that. Don't need to feed them too far. The biscuits are heavy, just a little flick, they will go out easily around the baited area. This one, the elastic here twists, so it stops the main, it's just free flowing, so it stops the elastic from twisting up. You can keep feeding all the time without causing any problems. Bomb. So that's, if I need to feed bigger volumes further out, then I use a ground bait catapult. There's a much bigger pouch. I can get a ball of ground bait in there, or a big volume of pellets, a big volume of biscuits. And the elastic itself is much stiffer. So this is for longer distance. And when you're firing with a catapult, you need to, don't fire like that. You need to hold it at an angle there, sort of a slight angle. That's the way to fire a catapult, not like that, on the side, so the contents keep in there. You'll find you can pull it back much easier and wallop. You can get your feed a long distance with that one. There's already more fish out there. One just come up to take mine then. I think sometimes they seem to take very slowly, so they're looking to see if there's a hook, or they're a little bit suspicious. Loads and loads of planes about today. Quite close to an American Air Force base, so. Oh, one come up then, it sort of missed my bait. There it is now, there it is, and it's looking at it, it's coming back, it's took it. Back, he's took it, he's got it. Oh dear. Oh, big fish. Just get the pole back to a manageable length. Just let the elastic do the work. Really is a hard fighting fish, this one. Just fabulous fishing. Seeing how the fish take the bait. See them just come up and suck the bait in. And such a simple method. If you think about it, just a piece of line. Yeah. I've got the fish under control now. There's only line. Well, I think I have, I'm not sure. Oh, number 18 elastic pulling right out. Under my feet now, the fish. Just trying to catch a glimpse of the fish. They are beautiful condition fish here. Gorgeous. You just can't control these fish sometimes. They just whiz around. Safely in the net. What a fight. Oh, and a beautiful fish. Oh, that is another different looking fish though. Almost, I think, almost a leather carp. Hardly any scales. It is a mirror carp because it's just got 1 or 2 scales, but what a lovely fish. Safely unhooked. I've got a barbless hook on, so it comes undone easily. Fabulous fish. You need to keep the knot which attaches the thick elastic to the connector very small. This enables the connector to be clipped up. I've put the first part of the connector on there. There's a hole to pass the thick elastic. This is number 20 elastic hollow, so it's thick. Form a loop, pull it through, form a loop, and then it's just twist it 3 times. Keep this knot small. 1, 2, 3. Tuck that tag through the piece there, just through the loop, and then pull it. A little bit of lubricant. Pull it tight, really tight. Try to straighten it while you do it, and pull it really tight, so it digs itself in. And then test it by pulling it. That's good, it's not slipping. If it slips at all, then do it again. Clip that off very, very tight. Once you've clipped it off, check it again. It's not slipping. What needs to happen is the connector needs to push over, like that. And you can then put your loop over there, clip that back. And what most people do, they don't tie the knot properly, so they leave it like that. But that connector's got another click on it, which you need to push like that, click. So it clicks tightly in position and your loop can't come off. If you can't do that, you've tied the knot wrong. So exciting, that last fish. And I can already see another one out there. I'm going to feed first. That's it. One or two a little bit close to that tree. Don't all have to be together, but just really watch. Sometimes you can just watch for the fish and drop the biscuit on its nose almost. There's one there's a fish right in the trees now. Will I catch it? Got a nice, really long line on this pallet so I can flick it well past the pole tip. Drop it. Look at that, dropped it right on the edge of that tree. Quite close to the other one, there's two together there. Hasn't taken any yet, but I saw it come out and take one of the other freebies. It's two together now. A little bit of wind there, which if it doesn't look right though, you can just lift it out and drop it back in where the bait is, and then flick up, drop the bait back in again, waiting for the fish to come and take it. This has got to be one of the most simple end tackles that there is. All you need is a length of line, about 1 metre long. You need to go past the end of your pole tip to catch these carp. The hook, also a strong one. Nice strong carp hook. You've got to watch that it doesn't straighten, so. Size 10 or 12, big hook. And you need to tie the hook onto one end, and you can use whatever method you normally tie a hook with it. This is a spade end hook, but you might use eyed hook, so you can tie an eyed hook on to the length of line. Or if you use a hook tie, you can use that as well if you use spade ends. This is the way that I tie a knot. It's a knotless knot, just a really, it's the strongest knot there is really for fixing a hook to line. The hardest part is just trapping that line at first, and 1, 2, you need to get a few turns on there, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, winding down the shank, about 12 turns, then pull that little tag on the end. I use my teeth for too many things really. Just pull that through. So main thing is you've got a length of line with a good strong hook attached there. That's perfect. You can see how that comes and hangs off there. I won't bother to trim that piece off. You need to trim that piece off eventually, but that's the way it hangs. So that's perfectly strong. Just trim that piece off. And the other end, all you need to do is an overhand loop. I always wet the line. Just overhand loop on that end, and there you will have the rig for catching. So it's a figure of 8 overhand loop. Just tuck through. Once again, trim off that little tag. I'm not going to do it, it takes too long. And there you have a perfect rig, just over 1 metre long, good strong line, big hook for catching carp on the surface with dog biscuits. I'm in. Oh. Whew. God, what a fantastic take. Weather's just, it's been one of those changeable days, and it's just started to rain. Slowing up a little bit now, but just very, only very light rain, but it doesn't seem to put these fish off. Oh, they're still having a go. Oh. Get that one under control first. As soon as I hit the fish, I have to try and get them away from that tree, because they can catch me in those branches. Right, and now it's quite dark even now and it's still very, very early in the day, really. Just one of those dark days. While I'm playing this fish and tiring it out, let's give you my top tip for the week. And really, it's about my rig, which is just line, pure line. This is £10 breaking strain line. And what's unique about it is it's called a high-tech line. It's pre-stretched, it's white so the fish can't see it. And unlike a normal, say if you had a normal monofilament line that's stretched, a line of that diameter, 0.22 millimetre, would be probably about £4 breaking strain. This is £10, so use a good high-tech pre-stretched line for this type of fishing. If you think about it, the fish can see thick line on the water, so keep your line diameter fairly thin, but you still want the strength. Just, it's been one of those all action days, fantastic fishing. Just every time you go out, just a few biscuits, and it's all visual. It's all visual. You can watch the fish taking the freebies and then see the one come to take yours, and as soon as it takes, then I just lift into the fish. Because I'm using that hair rig banded pellet, all the hook is free to hook the fish, so you don't really have to strike through anything. The hook's completely free. Brilliant way to catch fish. Just a few dog biscuits on the surface, you can see what's happening. Try and keep the fish's head up. Oh, oh, what a fight. Oh, that is a beautiful looking fish. That is a beautiful looking fish. Lovely orangey colour, beautiful golden. Whew. Just hooked inside the mouth. Use my disgorger just to, there, and show you the fish. What a fantastic day's fishing, all action. Oh. Big mirror carp, probably £6, all muscle. There. Beautiful, beautiful looking fish. Look at that.